Hi everyone, we're back for another video. If you have been watching any of the video series that I've been talking to you about, you'll remember that I told you a story about a guy that I was helping down in Maryland with his court case, and the charges against this kid was basically disturbing the peace, not following a lawful order of a police officer, and resisting arrest. Well, I'm sorry to inform you, but the court system in our country is totally fucked up. I mean, totally. We put in a bunch of different types of paperwork, conditional acceptances, discovery demands, things like that, and we even put in one document to destroy the Setuke V Trust. If you don't know what that is, you can find it on YouTube. So anyway, this thing has been going on for probably 8-9 months from the time he was told to come into court and submit paperwork, and he got subpoenaed and everything else. The fact of the matter is, they set up a special court for him and they called him a sovereign, which you don't want to do that. You don't want to say you're a sovereign. You want to act like a sovereign. You want to act like a creditor. You do not want to act like a debtor. Creditors ask questions. Debtors make statements and argue. If you argue, you lose. When you argue, they get jurisdiction. If you ask questions, if you ask the right ones, they can't get jurisdiction. And this has been proven pretty much to be the fact. But you do have to study, and you have to know what to say when you get into the courtroom. And the fact of the matter is, even if you have been instructed on some of the things to say, the pressure when you get into court, especially if you have maybe a potential 5 years hanging over your head, the pressure is unbelievable. So it causes you to make mistakes. And the young man I was helping made quite a few mistakes. However, he did ask the right questions, and because I was trying to prepare him with scripts to say when you get in there, scripts to ask the judge questions. The Constitution provides you with certain protections, and one of those is that when you get in there, the judge is required to inform you of the nature and cause of the charges that are being brought against you. Well, my friend, asked those questions. And all the judge did was say, "Oh, we're not going there. We're not going to get into that. This, that, and the other thing." So, in other words, they never did what was guaranteed by the Constitution. Now, I have to say that the young man that I've been dealing with, he did not perfect the things that he was supposed to say. we went over the stuff hundreds and hundreds of times in that 9 months leading up to this the final trial that he had, the jury trial. And the pressure just proved to be too much, and he collapsed under the pressure, and he was not able to maintain the things about not giving them your name, and it's called acceptance. If you accept the things that they say, like when a prosecutor starts talking, you should be objecting to everything he says, because the prosecutor is not allowed to testify in the case, but they do it all the time, and they get away with it. So, like I told him, you allowed them to get away with too much, and they just ran away with it. And if you don't stop them, well, you're kind of screwed. Because, if you don't stand up for your rights and say the right things, you don't have any rights. And that was evident by what went on in this courtroom. When they brought him in for the trial, they kicked all the witnesses out of the courtroom. Everybody that was in the gallery, they kicked them all out and made them go to another courtroom. So, your right to a speedy public trial, well, 9 months is not exactly speedy, and him just being able to have his wife in the courtroom is not exactly public. But the idea is that they had a lot of things to hide, so they cleared the courtroom. As soon as you see that, you're getting ready to get screwed. So it's, this stuff does take some preparation on the part of the defendant, although you never want to let them know that you're the defendant. And there's certain things you need to say to be able to make that clear to them, so that they can't get jurisdiction and they can't just keep on going on with the trial. Even a crooked judge like he had, there's only certain things that, if they're recording all of the stuff that went on, I know that there's going to be blank spots in that recording when he finally gets a copy of it. But certain things just become obvious, and the fact that every time he tried to get information about why they were charging him, and they just kept on saying, "Oh, we're not going there. Oh no, we can't talk about that. Constitution? No. We're not talking about the Constitution." It's just a travesty. One of the things that we know we should have done, we put in a document right off the bat informing the court that he was the grantor and the beneficiary of the constructive trust that they put together before you get to the courtroom. And you name and you appoint the judge as trustee. Once you've done that, they can't go on anymore. But if you turn that kind of a paper in, or if you say that, you've got to stand on it. You've got to stand on it, and you just don't answer any of their questions. Or you ask questions. Did you not read the document that was submitted to you? That explains everything. And the thing is, you don't go to the court. When they send you your papers, you don't go. You tell them that you're the grantor and the beneficiary. You tell them that if any proceeds come from this case, the proceeds are to be sent to you because you're the beneficiary. And that's that. Then you shouldn't make them have to come and arrest you. Make them have to come to your house and drag you in there. So anyway, that's what went on with this guy. Now, they could have given him 5 years and this, that, and the other thing. Well, I don't know if that would have been cruel and unusual, but the fact of the matter is that in a previous trial, he had spent 5 days in the jail for contempt, and then they gave him 30 days, and they subtracted the 5 days that he had already spent in there, so now we're down to 25, and after 20 days, they let him out. And then they're demanding, like $300 court fees. Excuse me, I got a cold. So anyway, I thought you guys might be interested in hearing about how that went down. And, if any of you are up against any kind of charges, marijuana or whatever, you can get in touch with me if you want. And, we've learned a few lessons from this and from other people that have gone to court. And, may be able to help other people, because not every court is run by a bunch of crooks like they have in Maryland. So anyway, until the next video, hey, have a good one. See you later. Bye-bye.